everybody, and welcome to another episode of Landscape Marketing Secrets. Today, I'm very excited for two reasons. The first is, for the first time, this is me on YouTube. I am finally biting the bullet and going, digital. I don't know what you call it, but I'm now going to be on YouTube as well as other ways to listen to me. And second, I got my great friend Tara to be on. And Tara has actually never even been on a Zoom call before. Correct, Tara?
I think maybe once during COVID, like we were like trying to hang out with our friends through
I was
COVID.
going to say, how did you get through COVID without Zoom?
I do regularly, for sure.
Well, you also don't have full internet from your house, correct?
The pitfalls of living in rural country cornfields. We don't get internet at our Wi-Fi at our house, so we have to have satellite internet. It's horrible.
Wow.
It's horrible. We can't stream or any of that stuff.
So that'll do it.
Phillies, it's horrible.
Well, so anyway, thank you so much for being my guest this week. And you know what you're on for, but we'll let everyone else know. We are talking about the secret to accountability. And you and I got started on this because we both recently went to the business boot camp that Pontent put on with Garden State Koi. And as you know, I've lost a lot of weight in the past 6 months, and you were super impressed. And we started talking about weight loss and stuff. And you told me about this group you're in. And then you and I kind of started a separate deal. So the reason this goes to business and landscapers and pond builders, because I want to talk a little bit about how, again, we're using accountability to change our lives, which is what everyone should do in business and in life. So this started for you. How long have you been on your journey of healthy living?
Oh, goodness. Well, the most recent episode started like late January. Dustin and I were on a trip to St. John, which we go to twice a year. And I saw pictures of myself and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is horrible. So then I'm not quite sure how I got linked in with my pond friends, but maybe it was Scott Anderson. I don't know. I think maybe Bubba. I'm not sure. But Scott Anderson invited me to this group on Facebook Messenger. It's me, Clay Goad, Marvin Siderius, Lee Frisbee, Scott Anderson, Bubba Hogan. Who am I forgetting?
Brian Rosen.
Brian Rosen. And so he asked me if I wanted to be part of that group, and I said absolutely.
So you're the only female.
I am. You know, it is tame though. They're great.
I'm just waiting for my group invite. I'm waiting and waiting.
You got to talk. It's not my place, but maybe Scott or Bubba will say join on in because you have been doing fantastic.
I'll talk to Scott. He's my client.
I did let them know I was on the podcast, and I said I'm going to talk about you guys. And a couple of the comments were about how Laura Reale, she's awesome. So they know you and appreciate you and respect you quite a bit. So
there you go. We love those comments. So, and I forgot to totally introduce you. It's Tara Stoller from Dreamscapes Water Gardens.
Yes.
And you're located in rural Pennsylvania, as you pointed out.
Lebanon, where we have a lot of cornfields, so it's great.
I'm located in the part with I can literally see Whole Foods from outside my window. Like literally, it's right there.
Nearest Whole Foods from us is like 45 minutes away. So it's crazy.
Different lives.
Yes.
So anyway, so you and I are both. So when did this accountability group start on Facebook for you?
For me, I think I got linked in with them like February timeframe.
Okay.
It's daily. Awesome.
It's daily.
Oh yeah. Everyone kind of like posts their successes, some of their struggles. My whole thing is I want to see a sweaty selfie, and that translates into how you and I communicate too. But that's my thing is sweaty selfie. And we even talk about business, different business ideas and things.
Now I really want to be in the group. Business without me?
Yeah, I think Bubba Hogan started it, and then Brian Rosen joined, and then Scott, and then it kind of progressed from there. But Bubba is definitely the
ringleader of the group.
He's quiet, but he is fierce. And Bubba's lost a lot of weight too, so he definitely backs up what he preaches. So
isn't that funny? I would never describe him as quiet.
Well, I only met Bubba in October at Tom Smith's.
Oh wow, I've known him for years.
I've met him, and actually, funny story. Bubba's business was called Dreamscapes Water Gardens.
I know.
It's in Tennessee, or I think Dreamscapes Landscaping.
Dreamscapes Landscaping.
So he actually got a shipment of fish. One of our we ordered a shipment
no.
of Quebec, and they sent it to him by mistake. Got like a couple $1,000s worth of fish. He's like, Tara, I think I got your fish. What?
For a while, you guys were both my clients, and it was really confusing.
Yeah, but he's
Water Gardens Landscaping.
He's broadened his thing. It's called Mid-South Ponds, I believe now. So he's
Right.
Florida and Tennessee and all over the place. So
Anywhere in the Mid-South. Exactly. So let's talk for a minute about, so we're talking about accountability.
Yes.
And we're talking about in weight loss, but also, and so I'll tell my funny story right now. As you know, you like to see sweaty selfies.
Yes.
And yesterday, so this has been getting me to the gym more, but to the point that now I've learned I have to pull back. Some of the non-benefits of accountability are sometimes you push yourself too hard. And yesterday I didn't feel well. I just wasn't feeling great. And I didn't want to eat my dinner. I like forced down my salad and a little bit of chicken. And I was like, nope. I told Tara I'd go. So I told another friend I would try a core class. I go to the Y. So I did a core class there. And then I was like, well, I'm still not feeling great, but nope. Got to get that sweaty selfie for Tara. So I went and I did the recumbent bike 15-minute warm up. And then I did the treadmill. And then I went to do the arc trainer. I'm on the arc trainer about 5 minutes. And I'm like, man, I'm not. All right, let me just try 20. Then I'm like, let me just try 10. And I'm like, I'm going to puke. So I get off. So first thing I do before I throw up, what do I do, Tara?
You take that sweaty selfie.
I take that sweaty selfie. I'm like, I am not wasting this sweat. And I'm like, bleh. I look like I'm going to die. 2 seconds after I take the picture, I puke. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to make it to the bathroom. And I was like, and I looked over and there's this like little miracle trash can in the back of the Y right where I was. And I made it by a split second and just puked out all my salad. I think it's a great thing to be on, like, on film for. You could see like the movement of it. So I threw up my whole salad, threw up everything. And then I didn't want to look up. Like, I was like, is anyone looking at me? I just don't want to know. But then, as I told you, then I had to get my stuff out of my locker, which is also in the main area. And then my hands were shaking and I couldn't remember which locker I was in. So there's no way people didn't see, but we all just pretended, and I went on. But what's important for me there too is learning that sometimes you need to listen to yourself rather than just completely be accountable to someone else.
And your name was Ralph. I love it. And then you texted me. I'm like, oh my gosh, you puked from working out too hard. And you said, no, it was just a bad experience with eating too soon and all that jazz. So
I did. I can't eat salad. It was the salad and the core class. Just were not a good combination. No. But, so people are going, why are they telling the story? What does this have to do with anything? It has to do with a lot because we're talking about just like accountability. I pushed myself too hard to send you that picture. Sometimes, like I have a new client that said to me, he's like, I'm not as big as you are. I want to be where you are. And I was like, do you understand what our costs are? Like, that's great. But my gosh, like our monthly overhead is insane. We have 7 employees, plus me and Matt are completely on salary. And we pay people really good salaries, full year. And so I was like, don't assume that someone works out every day. It means you should too. Right. It means you do what's right for you. Exactly. And I'm like a true story of literally puking because I didn't listen to my gut. Literally didn't listen to my gut.
You're such a dork.
I know. But I think this is really important because this, like I said, this is business and life. So just like this client wants to be like me, I'm like, slow down, dude. You got some good stuff going there. Like you are, it's just you don't have the overhead. You don't have the stresses. You don't have this. Yeah, we have a huge maintenance division, but with it comes, what do we do in the summer?
Yeah.
So it's a fine line of balancing. So what would you say if you had to say, like, what has the accountability group done the best for you and where have you seen it struggle or you struggle with it?
As far as the weight loss goes?
Anything.
Well, for me, sometimes I get in my head and I'm like, I don't really feel like doing anything today, And then I'm like, well, shoot, I can't sit there and give opinions if I am not myself acting on what needs to be done, meaning I need to get my butt in gear.
Right.
Like, I try to be very communicative
Mhm.
and involved and offer opinions and advice in a non-judgmental way. And like,
Mhm.
if I'm out there myself working my butt off, then how am I going to tell others to do the same thing? But as far as results go, honestly, it's so motivating,
It is.
the chat, and I see who's doing what, and it really it's just rewarding. I love the group so much, and I
Okay,
don't know.
now even
I
more.
really
I'm calling Scott Anderson the minute we get off the phone. He loves me. He'll stick me
Scott is
in. God.
awesome. I think the world of him, and he's just he's a good motivator. And let me tell you, he works his butt off.
Oh my gosh.
Literally, he's
4:30 in the
dropping
morning.
hand sizes. I know you had mentioned to me too about having to buy new clothes.
Yeah.
He's like the same thing. Like, well, I don't want to buy new clothes because I'm just going to have to buy more,
Yeah.
if I keep on this path. But
Oh,
it's great.
obviously he and I think different because I just keep buying more clothes, different sizes. But it's funny too, because
I
it's
told
also
you about that. Like,
I know. I'm a shopper. I like to buy things. That's why I live in the, in the city, and you live in the you live in rural. I live in highly
yes,
commercialized urban area. Yeah, with the Whole Foods, right? And a Trader Joe's. They're both like walkable from my house.
And for those that don't know us, we literally only live about 80 miles apart.
Isn't that weird?
And it is a world of difference.
Sure is.
It is. Like, you're near Philly and I'm central Philly. It's a huge disparity between population and income level and those kind of things.
Everything.
It's crazy.
So what don't you like about accountability? Because I just told my story. What I don't like, which is not listening to myself.
Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold.
I know.
What I don't like about accountability. I don't like feeling like a schmuck when I don't come through with the accountability. I don't know how to put that in a more professional term, but I get down on myself, like I just ate something bad that I should have eaten. Like, and I feel a little bad about it, but then I say, well, tomorrow's a new day and we'll just start over. And
there are no bad foods.
Redemption in that,
And it's a journey. It's not a day thing. But what's annoying for both of us, I'm sure you've caught this too, is men lose weight quicker. And like, I was telling Scott about my weight loss, and I was so proud of myself. He's like, oh, I lost 50 pounds in the past month. I'm like, wait, what? Maybe not that much.
It is difficult it really is.
Yeah.
I mean, if I lose 1.5 pounds a week, I'm fine, because it has to be sustainable too. Like, you can't just drop 50 pounds and then, like, not eat anything, eat lettuce with no whatever.
Yeah.
Not have any fun and not have any cheat days, because that's not sustainable. Right.
I agree.
So do it slowly. That's off.
And we're not guys, so whatever. So as you know, I'm accountable at work too. And Barbie Holdeman and I have been talking every Tuesday. Today we didn't do it because I had a lunch, so we're doing it tomorrow. But we've talked every week for the past 6 years, which is insane. Awesome. And it grew both our businesses so much. So what we do is we send each other our to-do list every week, every Monday morning. And then on Tuesdays we go through, and I'll admit, like, sometimes I'll take something off, even if I haven't done it, just because I'm embarrassed because it's still on there.
You're naughty, girl.
And Barbie, God bless her, like, completes every item within 3 days and then has 10 more. And I'm like, yeah, I never did get that non-compete contract I was looking for. Then I'm like, well, I'll just take it off for now, put it back on later. So it's, even with an accountability partner, it's the same thing. I have to be careful not to go, like, I'm not Barbie. I don't go at her pace. Yes. I also run 2 businesses. She's what?
Barbie is a force to be reckoned with.
She is.
She's a spitfire.
And so am I, quite a bit. But I also have a younger kid. She has an adult son. I have a 12-year-old who needs me. And I also run 2 businesses. So, of course, things aren't necessarily going to get done for either business as quickly as I'd like, because I have to be there for my kids too.
Right.
He just keeps showing up at my house every day, this kid who lives here.
Imagine that.
And wants things. So it's, how would you say, like, who are you accountable to in business?
Well, you and I are a lot alike in that we are husband and wife businesses, at least for
Yes.
your pond business,
Yes.
for Pond 10. But um, you know, Dustin and I are accountable to each other. We started this business back in 2001, so we're 22 years in.
We were
Started with a
2000.
wheelbarrow
Look
to
how
sell.
close we are to everything. We beat you.
And
Just kidding.
it's it's a fine line. It's difficult to work with your spouse at times. Some people can never do it.
Yeah.
But we have fun. And his strengths are my weaknesses and vice versa. So we make a really good team. As far as accountability goes, we talk and we say, okay, what do we have to get done? I make a lot of lists, like I gotta check these things off. And we just kind of keep the open communication. I don't really tell him what to do, nor does he really tell me what to do. We kind of just know it after we've done it for so long. It's kind of routine. But we check in. Say, did you call the bank, or did you mail your maintenance forms out? Blah blah blah, whatever it might be. So that's kind of how we do it. The other thing that I think is important is networking with other contractors. So I know you have a lot of competitors in your area as far as the pond world is concerned. As we don't have as many as you do, but I check in with Adrian Cap quite regularly. He owns CE Ponds, which is the next county over from us. He's a good dude. And I respect his opinion. Yeah. He's a very successful business.
He is.
And so I buy him all the time. Like, and even like with customers, like, don't, this, here's a situation that happened. Just be aware.
They're going to call you too. And
that we want to have a united front. And we actually share numbers with one another, believe it or not, making sure we're kind of charging the same thing. That way we're competitive in the local market, because we both know we're going to offer great service. Yeah. So it's really about customer likes more and who they trust more and get along with better. Because those are going to be the contractors that they hire. Who do they like the best?
Right.
And so I think it's important to network in that regard too.
And I think
having that open.
Yeah. That's huge. And I didn't know that about you. So that's really cool. But what I want to say is, so for you, being accountable to your husband/business partner works. To me and Matt, it did not work. Mm-hmm. And that's why together we're accountable to our business coach. But I'll save something, because Matt, I'm almost like you and Dustin present as more equals. I am such a dominant force without meaning to be, that I can overwhelm. And so shocker, me, never. So I kind of overwhelm Matt, and I'll be really hard on him. And so for us, we're learning with this new business coach we've had for a year now, how to be accountable to her kind of instead of each other. And then also what really helped us is she was our office manager. Now she's our customer service manager.
Oh, nice.
Same person, Sandy. But Sandy has taken on a lot of what Matt and I considered nagging. So that's a really important thing, though, in accountability, is make sure that the person kind of wants to be accountable to you. And for Matt, it was, and part of 90% of it's my problem, I'm sure, if not 100. So I'll say it. It's me. I'll own it. But he and I have different sleep schedules. So no, not anymore, because I'm old and tired. But I tend to, I used to go to bed way later than him. So he'll come in going to bed and be ready to, calm down and quiet. And I'm like, did you do this? Did you do this? Did you email these people? And he's like, oh my God, it's midnight. I'm like, I know. I'm like, so did you do this? Did you call? And it drives him nuts, understandably. So I think there's good accountability and bad accountability.
No, I would agree.
And it's hard with the spouse. So where we've learned is by putting Sandy into the nagging role, it takes out the personal element. And it takes out the nagging and allows us to be husband and wife, focus on what we do together, but then also have kind of other people to help us remain calm in the business, and for me not to overwhelm him.
So you're saying, what I'm hearing you say is accountability has helped your marriage.
There you go. I love it, Miss CSA. What I'm hearing you say. No, learning who not to be accountable to has helped my marriage. Because Matt does things, and I'll even say to our coach, I'm like, Matt didn't do this, this, and this. And she's like, he's doing all these other great things. You're not giving him credit. And I'm like, oh, you're right. Because I tend to look at it just one-sided, and I'll be like, well, he didn't do the things I wanted him to do.
Right.
That doesn't mean they're the most important things.
Right.
They're the most important to me at that time. So Matt also, as you know, your brother from another mother, as you called them when we first met you, gosh, like 11 years ago. You were so excited.
It might have been longer than that, Laura.
That was that was before we had Max, and he's turning 13. So it's been a while.
I remember exactly where I was too.
We were at condominium, and you were like one row ahead of us in these, like, right? In this classroom.
Jack was there. Jack Haru was there. I think Clayton Grauer was there.
Yeah.
A lot of people. That was a fun event.
It was fun. I miss those events. And we all still hang out.
I'm like, you look like my brother. And I got on Facebook and I showed him a picture of my brother. He's like, I do look like your brother. And so from then on, we kind of bonded, and he's my brother from another mother.
Yes, he is.
From another sister. So I love that guy. You guys make a good team.
We try. But again, we make a good team because I'm learning to see my faults. And I'm learning that my husband, for me, can't be accountable to me in business because I'm too hard. Barbie can handle me. So I'd kind of say that's the last thing to remember is like, know who to be accountable to. And it might not be your spouse. Right. It might be kind of a third party, someone that's neutral. It might be, like you said, your competitor, which I think is not competitor, someone that does similar things to you in the similar area. I wouldn't call it competitor per se. I call it someone who does what you do equally. But, figuring out who that person is. And then I think that can help you in both life, as we said, and in business.
Well, and the other thing too, Laura, you can't be afraid to reach out and ask for help either. Like so many people take the burden on themselves, and then, they get stressed out and burn out, and then their businesses suffer, and then they go under. You can't be afraid.
Or they puke at the gym. Because they're not listening to themselves. They're listening to what they want to be for someone else.
I'm so sorry. No more sweaty.
I got that sweaty selfie, and no, I'm staying with it. I love being competitive. But it just shows you, it's just a really funny example of, how not to be accountable if it's not in your heart. Yeah. I'm just so uber competitive because now you and I are also doing a scaled challenge, which is not healthy.
That is definitely not healthy. But I don't care. I'm doing it anyways.
We still do it. And last week we weighed the exact same to like the point. I had to take a picture, and every time I picked up the phone to take a picture of it, it would like go up for, tenths of a pound or whatever, because I was holding the phone, and then I'm like, shoot. So then I'd like try to get the thing and take the picture before it went up again. It was really fun. So I hope this bless you. Poor Tara's still suffering from her cold.
Yeah, I got this bronchial thing going on. But yeah, no, that was like, I said, hey, Laura, guess what? I lost another pound. This is what I weighed. You're like, what?
That's what exactly I weigh.
What?
So hopefully, Tara, this helps people. And as you know, the other part, which I think is really interesting, which we're not going to go into, but it just shows we all have different political beliefs, different religious beliefs. And yet when you have other things in common, I think the two, you, me, and Barbie could really show the whole country a lesson here in that you don't have to fight with people just because they think differently. Find what you have in common. And that's so much more than what you don't.
And I will say too, fierce lady friendships are unstoppable, right?
I agree. And you and I motivate each other in business too. And same with Barbie. There's not many of us that are as, quote unquote, tough as we are. I try. I tell my daughter.
I'm not like this little wallflower that, no, I'm spunky. Like at my old job, they used to call me the bulldog because I would bark all over people, But no, I think things should be done a certain way. And like, I can't handle incompetency and inefficiency. Like, just do your job, and do it right, and do it with a smile. Right?
I'm with you. I'm still trying that. Oh, and then I was doing sweaty selfies and not smiling. So you really made me take it. You made me smile for my sweaty selfies. What, like everybody's dead, but I do it.
You do it.
So
And
hopefully, this motivates people, whatever it is, whether you want to lose weight, whether you want to make your business more successful, whether you want to have more friends, whatever it is, when you tell someone and again, you don't want this to be a competition. You want it to be a support group. And I think that's really the main difference is you have to go into it thinking who can support me in my life and in my business. And that if you take it from that aspect, you do much better.
I agree 100%.
So Tara, I think we are in tandem. Thank you so much for being on my podcast, my first YouTube. I appreciate our friendship and I appreciate you holding me accountable to everything.
And I appreciate the same from you. And I expect that sweaty selfie tomorrow,
Oh,
Laura.
Yeah, today we're taking a day off. I'm going to go on the treadmill tonight, but just a light walk.
All right.
I told
All
you,
right.
I got to get whatever that was. I'm also too embarrassed to go back to the Y right now.
You got to overcome that. You just got
I know. I told you I didn't look around. I'm like, if I don't see anyone, they don't see me.
And honestly, no one's looking at you anyway. So
No one
it's all
cares.
good.
That lady that puked in the corner. But hey, we all have our things. At least I made it to the trash can. So Tara, thank you for being my friend, for being a great role model and being a great accountability partner. I appreciate you.
Love you, girl.
And for everyone else, please like, listen, and subscribe to my podcast. As always, you can reach out to me at my cell, 215-805-8257. Thanks, everyone.